Okay, so as you can see, even when I have like next to nothing, um, I still try to help those I care about. And obviously, I asked if he could come, and I had to even borrow money from my brother to get from my big brother, to get a bus ticket for him, which he then sends, and he didn't even use it, so I still and you couldn't return the ticket, so because he just didn't give a shit that much, I guess. But I didn't know that at the time. I had to pay that money back, and I did. So I paid double that money. By the time, I'm just trying to find some kind of stability. I'm trying to figure it out. But I'm so used to just helping him too that my whole life's falling apart. It's already fallen apart. I'm just trying to find some stability, and still picking fights and getting mad at me. And then my brother's fighting with his girlfriend. I think they were fighting even before that, but either way, it was just so much toxicity that I'm like, I just need to get out of here. Um, and my guy that came, he's like talking about moving out to BC. We'll have a fresh start, and everything will be good. We'll get a place. We booked an Airbnb, a beautiful one, for over Christmas, so Grace can have a beautiful Christmas while we wait for, while we find a place, which proves to be a very big struggle. The second we get here on the plane, he's already being a dick to me. Wow, we didn't even get all the way on the plane. We were in one of the stopovers when the fighting started. But anyways, we got to the Airbnb, and I ordered, with the last bit of money that I had from the insurance money, $500 in groceries. And all he can do is bitch about me about all the money that I've spent, all the money I spent, all the money I spent, but he hasn't put in a penny, not a damn penny. And he's like, I told you need all that money. I'm like, okay, well, we still had to eat for a week before we even got to the airport. We still had to feed everybody else. I'm not saying that I was perfect, but none of this was taken into account, and he just kept beating me up, never once trying to find a way to show some support. So then there becomes an argument, and not actually physical or anything, but the Airbnb tries to pressure us to pay for another month, which was like $3,200. No, pardon me, it was like $2,000 to pay for another month, and we haven't even been there 2 days. I ordered from Instacart a bunch of groceries because I knew that was all we were gonna have, so I wanted to make sure we had enough, right? I spend every last penny. Then he said he was gonna send money to me, when he got his check or whatever, and all of a sudden, oh, he went to go for a job interview or whatever. There was fights, right? They're stupid little fights, but they were fights, and I felt really taken advantage of already, and I felt really upset, and I was starting to be like, I don't understand why you said all of these things, and then all of a sudden, no, I didn't say any of those things. So that's a whole another part of a toxic cycle. So I don't want to go in deep in that because we could go on forever and argue back and forth. But whether he's right, I'm right. But I'm sure we both are right in some degree. But it was not good, and we end up getting kicked out of the Airbnb, not for anything physical or anything like that. Um, Basically, it started with this lady, and then she started throwing out things saying I said this and said that, which I never said anything like that, but she used it as an excuse because she already had another booking for it, and she wanted us to pay for the second month 2 days in, which is just ridiculous. Anyways, so we literally have to be out that same day. Um, so he has to spend $200 on a motel, 250 or something on a motel, and then an Uber. to get us there. And I literally had to pay him back for that. So he didn't actually spend it out because I never heard the end of it, and he treated me like garbage the whole time. So I paid him back for that also while I'm waiting for the money, the Airbnb money to come back. So I have $500 worth of food at the very least. All our luggage, like all of our luggage, everything that we own pretty much that wasn't burnt in the fire or didn't have to give up with the trailer or leave at my brother's house. I'm trying to lug it from another Airbnb. They were supposed to set us up in a better place. Not a better place, but like one of equal value or whatever, very quickly. Then they booted us out of there, out of our account. So we had to fight with them and fight with them and fight with them to get the money back. Now I'm literally living day to day, having to pay for an Airbnb. Instacart double charges me, so there's $1,000 gone out of my account instead of, you know, 500. Um, and that would have paid for a motel. I had to beg, borrow, and steal just to not steal, but you know, just to survive these Airbnbs day in, day out. We end up staying at a motel, and I have to pay daily. Some days I could pay for 3 or 4 days, and I'm literally breaking my back using the last bit of what I got to survive, right? To try and make it work. We had to spend our Christmas in a motel, and he still didn't pay, but would pick fights. He would take off, do whatever he wanted, make me feel like shit. Literally, like, there were times when, like, he'd be like, just go. Like, the things that were said to me are just disgusting. The fighting, I don't even want to talk about that. Like, because it's not pity me story. All I'm trying to do is to continue and heal and do better and find a place to live, like an actual stable place to live. I'm trying to find a job. I'm literally breaking my back trying to figure something out. Then I find us a place to live, and I was going to go without him because I didn't want him there because I couldn't continue to do this. And then he wants to come or whatever, and he's like, but I have to pay rent or whatever. So I told him that he had to pay rent, and so we made an agreement, and of course it was way less than I should have had to pay, but it was something, and I made sure that it was set up so he had to pay the landlord himself. So he had his own room, and we move in there. I get a job. Got backed up daycare. I've got all this set up, and literally working my butt off. I'm working 12-hour shifts, and I got to take at least 3.5 hours in bus rides between there and back, and then I have, you know, like to walk 25 minutes for each, like to work and back. And 12 hours plus all that, can you just imagine what time I had? So I would sleep every couple days. I tried really hard to stay awake because I have a daughter, and she needs to have some time too. So I was like walking around half dead, just trying to make ends meet, trying to figure out a truck or a vehicle, like save up enough money to get a cheap vehicle. And I was saving and saving and saving, and he was spending and spending and trying to bully me out of my last bit of money at this point. And when it finally came to a head, it got so physical that he split my face. There's pictures and stuff on there. Like, shit got bad, and it was time to go. I had to go. And I didn't want to deal with that anymore. I didn't want my daughter to think it's okay, and of all the things I've been through, the last thing I wanted her to do was grow up thinking any of this shit was okay, which was the whole thing I was fighting for in the first place. So we went to the women's shelter, and here comes another